I got involved in this stuff because first off, Judge Brett Hall, down at the 382nd District Court, down there, the family court, that's where I got involved. And there are lots of things about that I'm not going to go into because it's focusing on you. There was another judge down there, a Justice of the Peace, in Justice of the Peace, Jack James. Another, had the title, had the position, he had the reputation. I'm a judge. David Rakow at the time, I had, also addressed some topics. Now, had not sat in his court at that time, but since then I have, and I would say that David Rakow has made some horrible mistakes, and this is our Rockwall family court system.
So nepotism.
No accountability.
Right.
No accountability.
No accountability.
Yeah, go ahead and destroy families or whatever. You're going to be all right here
right.
in Rockwall.
And I know I've talked with people that were running for the Court of Appeal. And at one point when I talked about the family courts, I said, we've heard about Rockwall family courts. And Olga, as a veteran, I'm a veteran as well, but I did not serve 26 years. I served 4, and then I decided to go back.
Mine was a combination of active duty and reserves.
Yeah.
Majority of the reserves.
But you honorably served your country. You obviously have skills. You loved your children. The traumas that you suffered in the military are nothing compared to the abuse that you have suffered from the family court and from Judge David Rakow here in Rockwall, Texas.
And accusations like that destroy your Navy career as a naval officer too.
Right.
Yeah.
Guy over in Pennsylvania, he was running for the Senate in Pennsylvania. He would have won. Pennsylvania would now have a Republican senator. You know what happened? False accusations in family courts.
Yeah. I want to advocate, and if I ever decided to go into politics, I can't. This would follow me.
Right.
And I shouldn't have to relive that trauma because I want to advocate for people in public service.
So for me,
I was told by Casey Ashmore that I would never, ever get my children here in Rockwall County.
Yeah.
Because I have angered the judge by being combative and being vocal and telling my story.
Yeah.
Why do we got to be guilty and have to prove our innocence?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it comes down to.
So, I'd like to address the people of Rockwall. In the GOP, they know who I am. And the Rockwall Men's Club. And I'm sure the courts know who I am down here. I believe that you owe Olga Ventura an apology for what you have done. Casey Ashmore, I believe the same thing for you. Pamela Miley, and I know I've talked with you too, Pamela. I believe you owe her an apology as well. Margaret Spain. I'm sure I'm missing a few people here. About the only person, Kendra Culpepper, I believe you too for your negligence in this because, I can't have something that I can't prove 100%. I might not win, so it would look bad on my record.
It was on video.
It was on video.
And we even have video.
Has it on video.
And the only person that really has stood up for you within the city has been the detective Steve Nagy. Is that correct?
Yes. After years of reports from other detectives.
Yeah.
Detective Page.
Yeah.
Detective Lori Burks.
Yeah. I believe that they all owe you an apology.
And rest in peace, Officer Nathan, who, passed away from COVID, but yes.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, Mario, I didn't mean to cut you off here.
No.
Because you've seen so many things. I'm sure that to you, you've got to think, what in the world? You said you were anchored by Olga. You came from Colorado to Texas because of this wonderful lady, and you have watched her abused constantly. As a husband, as a stepfather, and I know you're not trying to take the place of the natural father.
No, I never did. I let the kids know.
Right.
That I'm not your father.
He asked them for my hand in marriage. He asked them.
Yes, I did. I asked permission from the kids.
Wow.
To ask to marry their mother.
Wow.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But how has this affected you once again? And what confidence has this given you in our public officials and in the judicial system?
It's really hard to.
What Victor has given you.
Yes, it's been very difficult because I've had to establish myself here in this city. I'm a structural engineer, and I went out and started my own business out here. And you know that it's very difficult making your business successful. In the first 3 years, 90% of the businesses fail. So during that time, I'm trying to establish a business, but I'm also trying to establish a rapport with her kids.
Right.
And we had, yes, I love the kids. We had a great rapport.
Right.
Everything was great. Everything was great in the situation.
Right.
Up until, 4 years in, when he really started to hammer home all these false accusations, everything, and it was early on that he took the kids and got standard custody.
He worked on my son. As soon as my son turned 12, he started working on
There was a
him.
pattern there, you know what,
Right.
once they hit the 12-year-old mark or whatever, it was like, you know what, hey, I'm your father, that type of thing. And you know what, you're gonna do what I say. You know what, not what your mother says. He's always tried to exclude
That I'm
everything
crazy,
else.
that I abuse
But,
them.
in my situation here, I think that I'm just to the point where I feel hopeless because of the fact that she's got no justice in this
Right.
whole situation. She's been thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
I feel bad, you know what, that I can't help my wife out.
Yeah.
It's 6 years later, and I don't know what to say to her anymore.
Yeah.
We've had many a nights where we cried ourselves to sleep.
I can imagine.
And we've had a very difficult time because of all this, or whatever,
Yeah.
how she's stressed. It's affected her health. It's affected my health.
Yeah.
It's been very difficult. It's been very, very, very difficult.
My ex has
because-
gone through 16 lawyers in 10 years.
Does he change lawyers at times to delay the hearing?
Yes, he does that as well.
Or when they tell him something is illegal or something, he fires them.
Yes,
And
exactly.
it
When he
buys more
doesn't
time.
get what he wants or whatever,
One
he'll
time
fire
in
them.
June,
And
I want to say it was June 26th, it was Zoom hearing. Our Zoom portion had ended, but they were still in chambers. My ex showed up here knocking on the door, we have it on camera, demanding that my son open. And because he's brainwashed by my son opened and says, "You're coming with me, I won you in court." I won you in court like there's some trophy.
it
wasn't.
wasn't even over with.
It wasn't. He was being represented by Shirley Sutherland.
That's
Sure.
another work of art.
Yeah, exactly.
Within hours, I was told that she was no longer his lawyer. I don't know what happened.
But he got, did he get reprimanded for it? No, he just got slapped on the wrist. Don't be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what? He freaking created,
Yeah.
she's scared. She's scared to death
I
of this
was-
guy.
I was
She
on
knows
the
what he's
phone.
capable of.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
has mental issues.
Yeah.
You know what? So we didn't know if I was out driving around running errands or
Yeah.
whatever, when he came and knocked on the door, banging on the door,
Yeah.
demanding his kids.
Yeah.
Came straight from court, and it wasn't even over with
Yeah.
yet. They were still discussing in chambers.
Honestly.
So you know what? She's fearing for her life.
Right,
What's he
right,
gonna do?
right.
Bang down the door and
And then he enticed my children to run away, as you know.
Yeah. How many